But the government has shown no willingness to entertain your thoughts in the past. Why would it be any different now?
But Peter, politics is the art of the possible, and we've got a long time. 6 weeks is a long time in politics, and we've got that time to try and get this right. I'm hoping the government is not going to just rubber stamp this. An all or nothing approach could end up with nothing. I'm saying to the government, the polls are at 54% for the referendum. That is not good enough to get the referendum passed. We need to encourage Australians who want to vote yes but are concerned about elements of the voice, and we need to take some of those concerns off the table. That's the only way this passes.
OK, given that you've jumped ship now, do you expect to one day return to the front bench?
Look, that's a matter for Peter, ultimately. I remain a loyal Liberal, I remain a member of the party, I remain the Liberal member for Barara, and I'm going to do three things. I've got to work hard for my constituents, I'm going to work hard to see Peter Dutton becomes our next Prime Minister, and I'm going to work hard to see a yes vote in the referendum.
Are you going to join Andrew Bragg's Liberals for Yes campaign?
Well, let's see how that plays out in the next few weeks, but I'm a Liberal Party member who, like Jeremy Rockliff, the Premier of Tasmania, is voting yes.
Has he made an approach for you?
Jeremy Rockliff or Andrew Bragg? Well, Andrew's position on this is well known, and he and I have been great colleagues on this. And look, I don't doubt that I will make an appearance at one of their events over time.
I say, you'll be on board his campaign.
I will be on board a campaign to see the Constitution change.
See, that's interesting, right? So are you going to be a problem for the opposition from the backbench?
No, I'm not. I absolutely support every other policy of the opposition. I support I do. Yeah. And as a backbencher, you have the freedom. It's the great tradition in our party. If I was a member of the Labor Party, I would have been expelled from the party or have to leave the party and sit on the crossbench. That is not our tradition. As a frontbencher, I had to make a decision, either to back the referendum and keep my job, or to resign my job and to campaign for something that I've worked on for 10 years. And I made the latter choice because in politics, you have to have some lines in the sand, you have to stand for some things, and for me, this was something I stood for.
Do you expect other moderates to join you?
Look, I don't. I think I've had my own particular position on this based on my history. I think ultimately, at the end of the day, Australians will make a judgment. This isn't about the Liberal Party, it's not about the Labor Party, it's about the Constitution, and all Australians get a say on this at the referendum.
It's no doubt, Julian, you've had a busy couple of 24 hours now, so fair enough, you need to rest your voice. Perhaps after this interview, Julian. But are you eyeing off someone like Simon Birmingham to drag across now?
Look, I'm not into playing games and to playing internal politics. This is about an issue. That's all this is about. I've taken a principled stand on an issue that I've worked on for a decade that I think will make positive change.
This is a question that I'd like to ask you now. So now that you're unshackled, do you think, as it stands, the voice is constitutionally sound?
I want to see changes to the voice. Clearly, that's what I'm going to be spending the next 6 weeks on. I'm going to be seeing changes to... I want to see changes to remove the second clause, which relates to advising executive government, which relates to advising matters in relation to Indigenous people, to removing the symbolic language from the provision. Yep. I think that's important because I think those are the things that are preventing Australians from voting yes.
But at the moment, it's not constitutionally sound?
I am looking to see those things removed. That is where I'm campaigning. Ultimately, if I can't get those removed, I will vote yes.
So what would that mean, though? Is it constitutionally sound?
I think this is not the best way of doing the model where we are. That's my view, and that's why I'm seeking to make changes.
Right, but it can
I'm seeking to find common ground with the government. I'm seeking to find common ground with Australians.
But you will support it even if it can be taken to the High Court.
That is right. I have said that, and the reason I've said that is because at the end of the day, I believe that the voice will make a positive difference in people's lives, and I think the downside risk is small. But I do think having the provision in there, the way it's drafted currently, does create some risk, and I think it is better that we remove that because that will encourage more Australians to vote.
So why support, though, if you're worried about it?
Because
there's a lot of people who share your point of view.
Because I think at the end of the day, having a referendum, as the government has put this referendum, it's important that it be supported, given my long history on this, because I do think the voice will make a difference, and I do think that consulting Indigenous people on the policies and laws that affect them will lead to better outcomes. It will lead to helping us close the gap. OK, you had a pretty... We're going to wrap up soon, so don't worry about it. You had a high profile. You can keep asking any questions you like. I think just the tickly throat. It's that time of year. Yeah, well, no, also you've been busy, but I think I know what you're going to say to this anyway. Now, you've had a high... You're one of Peter Dutton's closest foot soldiers, an important member of his team. Have you advised him on who you think should be your replacement? No, that's a matter for Peter at the end of the day.
Yeah, you were going to say that?
I wish them well, and I wish Peter well, and I will be supporting
Yep.
the new Shadow Attorney General and the new Shadow Minister for Indigenous Australians, as I will support Peter. That is ultimately a matter for Peter.
Would that be successful for the No campaign?
I think Jacinta is incredibly talented. There's not a single job she couldn't do in the Parliament. But I don't want to give the kiss of death to any of my colleagues.